Welcome to the Home Economics Social and Scientific presentation for all students going into Leaving Certificate. Home economics is categorised as a social science. A social science explores common issues faced by all people who are living in society. And some of these areas include diet and nutrition, management of our home, consumer-related issues and social issues. A social science develops the skills and knowledge used to manage personal resources and guide human behaviour. Home economics will help us identify the relationships that exist between us as individuals and our families and their immediate and distant environments. This slide is quite text heavy. Nevertheless, it's important for us to understand what home economics is made up of. All students must study three core areas. The first core area is food studies, and that makes up 45% of our course. The second core area is resource management and consumer studies, and that makes up 25% of our course. And the final core area is social studies, and that makes up 10% of our course. On top of this, as a class, we choose one elective. There are three options for the elective: home design and management, textiles, fashion and design, and social studies. It is important to say at this point that you do not have to choose textiles, fashion and design. There is a very small area of textiles which is studied in our core area in resource management and consumer studies. For some students, textiles is not always a favourable option. The majority of students will look forward to studying social studies. Students opt for one elective area only. Those choosing the textile, fashion and design elective must produce a garment which will be inspected and graded. And in the past, we've only ever had two students who went down the option of choosing textile, fashion and design. It is, though, important to recognise that it is an option. The elective areas are extensions of the content contained in the core areas and provide students with the opportunity to study certain topics in more depth. As part of the core areas, a mandatory section comprises of practical coursework, which must be completed during the 2 years and will be sent to the Department of Education and Science for inspection. This is 20% of the final examination mark. This slide breaks down the topics that you will study in each of your core areas. In food studies, you will study nutrition to include your nutrients, protein, fat, carbohydrates, etc. Food commodities to include cereals, fruit and vegetables, dairy. Diets, stages of the life cycle in diets, plus all special diets. Meal planning, food preparation and cooking processes, sensory analysis, food processing, microbiology, food spoilage, preservation, and food safety and hygiene. In resource management and consumer studies, you will study family resource management to include management systems, household finances to include savings, budgeting, mortgages, household technology, which includes our appliances, textiles, and consumer studies. And in sociology, which is a favourite among students, you will study sociology terminology, the family and society, marriage, family as a caring unit, and family law. To recognise there is a sociology elective, which is often studied by students, and this will further investigate topics such as education, employment, unemployment, poverty, and leisure. The coursework journal makes up 20% of the final grade in home economics. It is completed in school under the guidance of your teacher. There are 4 assignments. These assignments are sent out by the State Exams Commission to all schools in September of 5th year. Assignment areas include diets, appliances, properties of food. Students have all of 5th year and the beginning of 6th year to complete their coursework journal, and the coursework journal for the first time is gone to digital format this year. Home economics will support you in a wide range of career paths in the future. So if anybody is thinking of going down the area of health and nutrition, home economics could work very well with biology or PE and would help you in careers such as dietitian, nutritionist, physiotherapy. If any of you are thinking of going into the area of the food industry, and this is going to change hugely in the future, and the way we produce food at the minute is just not sustainable. So we are going to have to find new ways of producing food. There's going to be a huge amount of careers in this area, and home economics would support subjects like geography or even agricultural science in this area. Education, home economics will support you if you want to go down the traditional route of being a home economics teacher, or if you just want to go into education around health and well-being. Tourism, home economics, as we said at the start, is a social science, and so therefore will be invaluable to you if you go down a career path in tourism. For a small number of students that might wish to go down the area of textiles and design and are choosing possibly art as another option, home economics will support you in that area as well. And you have the option of doing textiles as part of an elective. And finally, if you're thinking of going into areas such as science and social studies, home economics could support you in roles such as a social worker, social care. So therefore, there are a huge array of jobs and career paths that home economics will support. I asked senior students for some feedback on home economics, and here is some of the answers in which they provided. They were firstly asked, why did you pick home economics for your Leaving Cert subject? I picked home economics initially because I enjoyed it in third year. I knew that junior cert home economics differs from Leaving Cert home economics. There is more in-depth material, although I did consider not picking it due to it sounding very different. Yet I still picked it and I very much enjoy it due to it being interesting to learn. When picking all my choice subjects, I did think about how some of the home economics course links with biology. I think this mix of these two subjects is good because some of the material corresponds with each other. Another person said, I enjoyed cooking and learning about the science behind food, and I was also interested in the management and running of the home. Another person said, I initially picked home economics as I have a big interest in nutrition and learning things that can be practical in real life, like household appliances, cooking, and textiles. I also really enjoyed it in junior cert. And finally, a student said, to learn how to cook, learn nutrition, and learn about textiles. I asked students, what have you enjoyed studying in home economics? One student answered, over the last 2 years, I've enjoyed studying the material more in depth. For example, when learning about the nutrients, protein, carbohydrates, you learn not only their functions, benefits, but their structures and properties. Additionally, I enjoy home economics because I learned about how to have a healthy and balanced diet, but also about household finances, which I think both are very important and useful in life. I believe home economics is the most practical subject we learn in secondary school, and I know I will use it in my everyday life. I enjoyed studying food groups and the nutrients that can be found in foods. I found it to be very informative, and it helped me to make more conscious choices in terms of buying foods with a larger variety of nutrients in comparison to foods with less essential nutrients. I love learning things that are essential to life, skills like diets, cooking, textiles, household appliances. And finally, I asked students, to whom would you recommend home economics and what career paths do you feel it would help? So students' feedback was, I would recommend home economics to people who like to know how things work. I think this subject is a good choice if you want to go into food studies or science and social science, because the subject covers a lot on food and social studies. Another person answered, I would recommend home economics to everyone, regardless of if it suits your future career path. You learn skills and information that is valuable in your everyday life. I feel it would help people who want to become healthcare professionals. Knowing what nutrient deficiencies are caused by and what diets to recommend is valuable information. Another person answered, I can absolutely see home economics having a purpose in my career path in the future, as I want to get a job in sports physiotherapy, and a massive part of that career is nutrition and just health in general. Another answer, I would recommend home economics to someone who can be creative, someone who is independent, as most of the work is individual. Home economics gives you such practical skills, including nutrition, tourism, hospitality, but also things like household appliances, consumer issues, budgeting, mortgages, housing, which many people are uneducated on. Another answer, I believe home economics can help in a career in cooking or baking, as this class has practical aspects allowing the students to cook and or bake for hands-on experience. The information supplied in the class will also help to keep meals and recipes healthy and nutritional. Home economics would be helpful in a career as a personal trainer, as the information sourced from this class can help put together meal plans to help involve necessary nutrients and food groups in the diet. And final answer I got back was teaching and working as a chef or food in general. And finally, everyone, just to wish you the best of luck with your subject choice. And if you have any further questions about the subject, please don't hesitate to come to Ms. Burke or myself, and we will help you in that area. Good luck, everyone. Thank you.